Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Nicola De Souza. Let's start off with a look at today's headlines.
The headlines on News First at 9.
Oldest Buddhist shrine unearthed in Lumbini, Nepal. Minister Sarath Ramanugama says tourism will not progress without the C word. Notices issued on 3 parties in connection with the Rakipaswala water crisis. Controversy surrounding the case of the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. Protesters besiege ministries in Thailand.
A problematic situation arose in Parliament today over the amount spent on a litre of petrol when it is imported to the country.
This ensued when Democratic Party parliamentarian Anurukumara Dissanayake posed a question to the Minister of Petroleum Industries.
When a metric ton of petrol arrives at the Colombo port, is the price 149 rupees per litre? You are wrong, Minister. Please look into it. The government charges a tax of 25 rupees per litre of petrol. My question was, how much is a litre of petrol when the shipment lands at the Colombo port? All the taxes are included once the shipment is unloaded from the Colombo port. You're saying that it is 149 rupees when it is unloaded at the Colombo port. That is incorrect. I believe even Minister Susil Premajantha is aware that after the shipment arrives at the Colombo port, the government charges a tax of 25 rupees per litre and a 15 rupee profit is given to the Petroleum Corporation. It is after these profits are made that the price increases to 162. Thereafter, 25 rupee tax is imposed on petrol and the 15 rupee profit is given to the Petroleum Corporation.
That is the answer I have received. If there is a calculation error, when I look into it and get back to you, I will answer your question later.
Yes, that would be the best thing to do, although I have another question.
Questions were raised in Parliament today on the amount of foreign reserves at the central bank.
How much is the total debt and how much is the government debt?
The total debt as of 2011 was 5,133 billion rupees. In 2012, it was 6,000 billion rupees. As of June 2013, it was 6,518 billion rupees. It is documented and I will table it in the House.
You're saying it is a standard procedure worldwide to calculate the increase and reduction according to the gross domestic product. Didn't you explain this to the President when he delivered the budget speech? He said exports have seen a 2% increase. However, when you consider in relation to the GDP, there has been a drop of around 6% for 3 years.
That is your opinion.
This is not my opinion. My second question, you are an expert on economics. You are saying debt should be considered based on the GDP. Now debts have increased and there is difficulty in paying off these debts. The per capita income per month in Sri Lanka is around 11,000 rupees. However, the debt is mounting. Who is going to pay off these debts?
The President or even the opposition leader can give advice. However, we are talking about statistics here.
You rightly said that the amount of loans that were taken in 2012 have increased by June 2013. It is the mid-year debt accumulation. The total debt in 2012 is 6,000 billion rupees, but it has exceeded 6,000 billion as of June 2013. It is 6,500. Now will you accept that the country cannot bear this debt burden?
No, I will not accept it. We have to analyze the debt in relation to the gross domestic product. As the GDP increases and as our assets increase, our debt ratio reduces. It is the same for the country and for households. It is not a big problem and it is not difficult to understand.
The Jatika Powder Movement convened a meeting in Colombo yesterday.
The meeting was held under the theme, Let's Reveal the Fraud of the Leadership Council. Enough defeat, Ranil, time to go.
The meeting was held at the public library in Colombo.
මේ නායකයා ගන්න අත්තරෝමතික
The foolish ad hoc decisions taken by this leader have prevented the party from claiming victory. This leader must go home if the party is to win. There are enough votes to defeat the government, but there isn't a strong leader in the opposition who can rally the voters and take them down a victorious path. This leader is spineless. He knows how to do one thing: hold disciplinary inquiries and evict people from the party. There isn't a single person from the government who has come over to the UNP. They took one person, the man named Mangala Samaraweera.
ගත්ත එකම එක මිනිහෙක්. ඒ තමයි මංගල සමරවීර කියන මිනිහා. මේ මිනිහා ඇවිල්ලා පක්ෂයට මංගලයක් නෙමෙයි කරේ අවමංගල්‍යයක්. නායකත්ව මණ්ඩලයට අපි විරුද්ධයි. අපි කියනවා කරුණු
We say that we are opposed to the Leadership Council. We must mention 4 factors. We need these 4 factors. One is the power to appoint members of the Working Committee, the power to convene the National Executive Council, the power to appoint the Secretary and Treasurer, and the power to make provisions for members and officials. Sections 8 and 9. We want these 4 demands met. We are not prepared for any discussions without these 4 factors. We are saying this on behalf of the party supporters. Why do we need this? My friends, what we want is to make this party victorious. As long as Ranil is here and playing his tricks, the party supporters will not vote. This is the truth. We want a UNP that wins. We want to make this party victorious. That is why we are engaged in this struggle. The former chairman of the party says that we cannot win because there are demons in Sirikota. I do not know whether you witnessed this. They say there are demons. I say it does not matter whether there are demons or fools. Give the candidacy and the leadership to Sajid Premadasa. In 3 months, we will rejuvenate the UNP and bring the party into government. We will bring forth a UNP that will remain in government for 25 years.
United National Party Leadership Council visited the Archbishop's official residence in Colombo today.
ඒක අපි නෑ කිසිසේත්ම නෑ ඒක මංගල සමරවීර හැටියට මමයි කිලි රාජමහින්ද්‍රන් NTV ආයතනයේ සභාපතිවරයාට එරෙහිව 81 වෙනි වගන්තිය යටතේ අධිකරණ ක්‍රියාවලියට බාධා කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඒ නඩුව පැවරුවේ.
A group of monks staged a satyagraha campaign opposite the UNP headquarters Sirikota on the 19th of this month. UNP representatives who arrived at the location sought the pardon of the monks for an incident that had occurred opposite Sirikota recently. On the same day, party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe said that an official pardon had not been sought from the monks regarding the incident. It was reported on the Colombo Gazette website that the approval of the Leadership Council must be given for such a pardon to be sought.
Archaeologists digging at Lumbini in Nepal, the birthplace of Prince Siddhartha, have uncovered remains of what is believed to be the earliest Buddhist shrine.
They unearthed the 6th century BC timber structure buried within the Maya Devi temple at Lumbini.
Estimates to the birth of the Lord Buddha stretch as far back as 623 BC. But many scholars had believed prior to this that 390 to 340 BC was a more realistic time frame. Archaeological digs undertaken in Lumbini prior to this have not yielded any artifacts dating beyond the 3rd century BC, and ruins that have been uncovered are believed to belong to the Asokan era. The shrine uncovered by the team of archaeologists excavating at the Maya Devi temple is believed to date back to the 6th century BC, the pre-Asokan era. Speaking to News First, co-director of the international team of archaeologists, Professor Dobbin Cunningham of the Durham University, had this to say on the discovery.
Now what's really exciting is this is the first time that we've found the evidence of major developments at one of the great Buddhist sites prior to the reign of Asoka. And we've been using archaeological dating, scientific dating, to date the very earliest shrine at Lumbini. And the earliest structure, that timber-built structure right at the bottom of the sequence, dates from the 6th century BC.
Authorities believe the discovery could aid conservation efforts at the holy site, which has been neglected despite its UNESCO World Heritage Site status.
The material discovery from the 6th century BC and information has now further affirmed that the Maya Devi temple is where Prince Siddhartha was born, and the Lumbini Development Trust is continuing with its excavations there. International professionals and Buddhist nations are supporting this endeavour. The majority of Buddhist pilgrims who engage in the pilgrimage to Lumbini are from Sri Lanka. Data shows that in 2012, 57,720 Sri Lankans visited Lumbini. So the continuing excavations and information that is coming to light in Lumbini is very important to Sri Lanka and other Buddhist nations. An individual suspected of subjecting 4 boys at the Atambagaskara Children's Home in Vaunia to cruel treatment was remanded until the 3rd of December today. The suspect was produced before the Vaunia Magistrates Court today by the National Child Protection Authority, or NCPA. The warden of the children's home in question, a monk who is also suspected of subjecting the 4 boys to cruel treatment, has been remanded until the 3rd of December. The monk in question was produced before the court by the NCPA on the 6th of this month. The 26-year-old individual who was remanded today had incidentally been a ward of the children's home prior to working there. The NCPA has produced 2 individuals suspected of abusing 4 children in court on 2 occasions within 20 days, following an investigation into an incident where a 10-year-old boy is said to have been abused while residing at the children's home in question. The NCPA took over the custody of this 10-year-old boy on the 12th of October while he was at the Vaunia hospital, and subsequently on the 15th of October took over custody of another 22 boys who were at this children's home. Although the judicial medical officers of Vaunia and Anuradhapura had both affirmed the fact that the 10-year-old boy had been subject to abuse over a continuous period and that he had sustained wounds to his genitals, on the 19th of this month, the NCPA informed court that it had sought the advice of the Attorney General in this case. On the same day, the NCPA informed court that it needed to retain custody of 2 of the 23 boys from this home, including the 10-year-old the NCPA took into its custody on the 12th of October. These 2 children are still in the custody of the NCPA. There are further 4 children who are said to have been subject to cruel treatment by this monk and the employee of the children's home. These 4 children were taken into the custody of the NCPA while they were living with their parents. On the 6th of this month, when the monk was presented in court, the 4 children were returned to the care of their parents. It is evident that the NCPA has taken an extended period of time to arrest the employee of the children's home after considering the statements made by these 4 children. 8 of the 21 boys who were handed over to the probation department by the NCPA via the court on the 19th of this month were returned to the care of their parents today. They were gifted not only with school uniforms and books but bicycles to travel to school too. Meanwhile, another child who claims to have been interred at this boys' home for a period arrived at the Vaunia probation office today and revealed to officers from the NCPA that he too had been subject to physical abuse, showing scars of wounds sustained during the abuse. However, since the NCPA declined to conduct an inquiry, the Vaunia probation office referred the child to the Vaunia police. As of this evening, the Vaunia police was yet to conclude recording the boy's statement.